finishing up here, I thought it was very important that we provide some lessons learned for our audience today about what we've seen and what we're learning in the multiple jurisdictions that we're working in to try to move this forward. First, I think it's very important that you have a well thought out business model. You got to develop a strong team. You got to be transparent with that team. And most of all, you've got to be very persistent because you're going to run into roadblocks. It's going to be very difficult because, like in Virginia, legally, we couldn't even do that as a company until we got the law changed. So that's very important. Secondly, each area is unique. So make sure you understand the area. You got to review the FCC maps, find a way to look beyond those maps. Are grant dollars available in that area is very important. Will you have an ISP that's willing to work in the area? Make sure you understand your demographics and the population densities, and then really understand the needs of the community. You know, do they have healthcare services? Is telemedicine important? Is there an industrial park that needs this service? You really need to understand those things. Third, I would say, you know, identify communities that are working to prepare themselves. You've heard Mike and I talk about that today, that Grayson was doing their homework. They were working to be ready for an opportunity. And we've tried to work in some areas that have not done that legwork, and it's very difficult if they have not. So finding a community or a region or a county that's done that is very important. Mike, you want to talk about those 2 points and the business case point?
Yes, he basically hit the nail on the head there. Having the locality prepared for this is very important, just because of the speed and scale of deployment. Being able to have this project shovel ready in a year is an amazing feat, and it would never have happened without collaborating with Grayson County and all the planning they did beforehand. With their consultants, things we did for them, everything. The business case falls into all of this, really in rural areas in general. The numbers have to work, even in a partnership this way with public funding and everything else. It's so rural. You have to know who you're dealing with, how many customers there are, and to make it viable, make it a long-term solution for the county for decades to come.
Thanks, Mike. Let's go to the next slide, and this will be our last slide. One last thing I wanted to point out on lessons learned, and we decided to call it the collaborative model. I mean, it is key. If you don't have the right partners at the table, this thing is done before it gets off the ground. You've got to design that middle mile with the last mile in mind. And if you don't have the right ISP, you are in trouble, because it's got to be about more than the money to the ISP. If it's just about the money, I don't think they're going to finish this because it's too hard. And I think Mike would share in that sentiment. But without support from your local, state, and federal officials, the project is over before it begins. And I just want to leave you with this. What a team we have. We've got GigaBeam, who is ready and willing to do whatever it takes, testify whatever it took to get this project off the ground. Our county administrator there in Grayson, Bill Shepley, man with a heart of gold, willing to do whatever it takes to help his county in this regard. A consultant that went above and beyond to help the county. Congressman Griffith, you can't say enough about him, a champion for the cause, who has been with us from the beginning on this. Delegate Israel O'Quinn, who was willing to sponsor a very controversial piece of legislation to do what's right for the people of Southwest Virginia. And he stays connected with us constantly to make sure this project is moving forward. Governor Northam and his administration, a champion to find solutions for the digital divide. The Tobacco Commission focused on providing funds and creating solutions. And I can't say enough about my team at Appalachian Power, who has tirelessly worked for almost 2 years to find a way to get something like this off the ground. And because of all of that work in the team, we are now in the planning and engineering phase of this, with that scheduled to be done and construction to start in December. And the good news there is that Mike and his team are going to work in parallel with our team. And so it will be a 12 to 18 month construction. But as we complete sections, Mike is going to be doing the same thing with GigaBeam And so customers will be able to come on board as we complete sections of the project. So can't say enough about what we've done here. Mike, any last comments?
You covered it all very well there. Like I said, we've planned this to go fast, and it's been a wonderful experience. Like I said, every partner in this has gone to bat and has just done a phenomenal job to make this happen. And it couldn't have happened without us all working together. That's to me the most important part of everything we've done.
That's right, Mike. And I think that picture on the screen there shows it all. You've got the governor, you've got the president of our company, Deladoe Quinn, Mike's smiling face there right behind the governor, and just a great day that happened right there in Grayson County to sign that bill into law. So, Rob, that finishes up for us.